Today, we're stepping into our third core value, others first. This value gets right to the heart of spiritual maturity. Paul talks about it when he tells the church to conduct themselves in a manner worthy of the gospel. In other words, he's saying, grow up in Christ. Let your character reflect Jesus. And one of the clearest signs of that maturity is when we learn to put others ahead of ourselves. Now, that's not something our culture encourages. Everything around us pushes the message of me first, my preferences, my comfort, my schedule. But the way of Jesus flips that upside down. In fact, Paul says it plainly, do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility, consider others as more important than yourselves. So as you walk through today's study, here are a few things I want you to pay close attention to. First, pay attention to how Paul describes humility. Humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. It's recognizing that life isn't centered on what you want, what you prefer, or what you get out of it. And for many of us, humility starts with simply slowing down long enough to listen, to notice needs around us, and to respond with gentleness instead of pride. Second, watch for the way this study talks about sacrifice. Humility is the posture, but sacrifice is humility in action. Putting others first will cost us something. Maybe time, maybe comfort, maybe convenience, maybe even our pride. But when we choose to sacrifice in love, we begin to look more like Jesus. So as you discuss today, be thinking, what's one thing I might need to give up so someone else can experience love, support, or encouragement? And that leads us to the third thing to pay attention to, the example of Jesus himself. Philippians 2 gives us one of the most beautiful pictures of who Jesus is and how he lived. He had all the authority of heaven, yet he chose to lay it down. He had every right to be served, yet he chose to serve. He deserved honor, yet he embraced humility. He lived a life that consistently put others first, all the way to the cross. Today's study isn't just about being nicer or doing more good deeds. It's about learning to take on the mindset of Christ, the same mindset that shaped his words, his actions, and his relationships. And when we begin to walk in that same posture, something powerful happens in us and around us. Unity grows, trust grows, compassion grows, and people begin to see Jesus through the way we live in love. So as you move into your discussion today, here are a few questions to keep in the back of your mind. Where might God be calling you to think of yourself less so you can love someone more? What part of Christ's example do you want to reflect this week? And how could putting others first strengthen the relationships in your group, in your family, or in your church? My hope is that today challenges you, it encourages you, and helps you see that others first isn't a burden, it's a gift. It's a way of living that leads to deeper joy, deeper connection, and deeper Christ-likeness. And it helps us become the kind of church where people really can make friends and find family. Have a great discussion together. Let's dive in.